Welcome to Spirit Sherpa, where we bring spiritual practitioners, coaches, and teachers into success, sovereignty, and spiritual expansion. I'm your host, Kelle Sparta, spiritual business coach, transformational shaman, and the founder of the Spirit Guides School of Transformation. So, today we are going to talk about what has been going on in the freaking ethers because holy shit, it has been hard, okay? I'm just listen, all right? I had a conversation this morning with a friend of mine that I haven't seen in years, and she described to me exactly what I have been experiencing. And that is that all this ancient crap from my childhood has been coming up to bite me in the butt. And it has been coming up and coming out to be processed. Yes, yes, processed. Yes. Bite me in the butt. Yes. Okay. Let me be clear. We are both having this experience. It is actually going around in the spiritual community right now. Whatever the astrological conjuncts have been and the transitions and whatever have been insane. And we are all being dragged on our face through old trauma right now. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Now, if you're on my mailing list, you've been hearing about this for several weeks. I've been dealing with this for about a month now. And I've things have been busy and the podcasts were already recorded, so I didn't do a podcast about it, but damn it, I'm doing one now, right? So here's the thing. When you are in a space of evolution, usually there's a break in between. And I've had a very long break. And that's because I did a huge amount of work for, 20 some plus years. And so I've had a pretty long break. It's been a pretty uneventful on the processing trauma level of stuff, with the exception of almost dying whitewater rafting. I mean, that was trauma I had to process. But um, I've had a long break. However, I've also had 20 plus years of doing this hardcore work, and so I have experience with it. And so what I'm going to say is this. The trauma that's coming up for me, that was coming up for my friend, that's coming up for a lot of practitioners that I'm talking about, is old, right? It's really old. It's like it's related to current day events, but it is being dragged up from early childhood, sometimes past life stuff that has not been cleared. I don't know what the hell is on the horizon, but whatever it is big because everything that is in the way of us being in alignment for that transition, for that whatever's showing up, is being dragged up to the surface to be processed and cleared. And so some of the stuff that's showing up, especially for me, is stuff from before I have memories, right? Sometimes from periods where I should have memories but don't, and that's a different issue. But it's from periods of time, sometimes before I had language. And here's the thing. When you have trauma showing up from when you did not have language, you cannot process it by thinking about it because you don't have words to process your feelings from that experience because you didn't have words at the time you had that experience. And so it's being held by a part of you that is nonverbal. Okay. And so what that means is that you have to be in your feeling self to process it. And that means that you have to be willing to sit with the feelings, however uncomfortable, however sad, however miserable, however, whatever. And I have gone through the litany of different feelings, right? So I've had the anger, I've had the sadness, I've had the frustration, I've had the overwhelm. That one was a surprise. Overwhelm, I did not think was an emotion that you could hold in your body. And in fact, that was the case. Not a terrible surprise for the girl who was, 5 years old and running her mother's life, but, overwhelm. I've had all these different emotions that have come to the surface to be processed. And I have felt fragile and I have felt vulnerable and I have felt incompetent at times, which, if you know me at all, you would know that that's really unusual. Um, and so all of these things have been coming up. And I've had an entire week where I couldn't work. And then, you know, I've had days where I was fine, function, no problem. Right. Well, this past week, I also got an illness, weirdest illness I've ever had, severe stomach upset for a day, and absolute utter exhaustion, no other symptoms at all, utter exhaustion for 5 days. There were days in the beginning where I couldn't stay upright for 30 minutes. So another day, another week of absolutely not being able to accomplish anything, right? And so, spirit is calling me over and over and over again to come away from my screens, to come away from any distractions, and to just sit and be with what is, and to be with myself. And I will have another video where I will talk about what that's what has evolved from that, and what I'm seeing in the universe right now. That'll be the next one that I record for you guys. Although it won't be the next one you hear. The next one you hear will be another one of our sacred business calibrations. But um, the the process of going through this has been a emotional roller coaster, and it has been tiring, and it has been a lot of things, right? It's been inconvenient as hell, right? Because I've got things to do, right? But one of the things that I've learned in my, probably close to 30 years of processing at this point is that the fastest way out is right through the middle. And so I no longer try to avoid these things when they show up. And they show up much less frequently now than they used to because, I processed a lot of the other stuff. But when it shows up, I am with it. And the reason I'm with it is because if I'm not with it, it will just drag on. And if I ignore it, it will land me in the hospital. It will knock me over the head. It'll make me sick. It'll make me all these things, right? And, as much as I'm being with it, I still got sick, right? So clearly I wasn't with it enough because it still took me out, right? And so, there's some serious downloads happening right now. There's some serious energetic shifts that are going on for us right now. And so if you are out there and you're going, "Oh, I just can't." And baby, I understand if you can't right now. I get it. The world is a chaotic and sometimes miserable place to be right now. And for empaths, the insanity is real. And if you have not gotten the Boundaries for Empaths program that is free on my website at kellesparta.com, please go and get that, because that's going to save your butt a lot from these energies that are going around. It's not going to solve it entirely, but it's going to make it so much better. So much better. Okay. So please, please, please go get that program. It is a free download, it's a free online class. And it will walk you through exactly how to create energetic boundaries for yourself so that you're not like swimming in the soup of the universal crap right now. And, nobody needs to be doing that. There's way too much crap out there. And so, for all of us who are empaths, it is a very hard and dark time right now. And, I felt it coming really hard in 2022. That's why I moved here to Panama, is that I just couldn't be in the energies there anymore in the US. And it is important. It is more important than ever to be taking care of yourself. I know we want to take care of others. I know we want to support the world. I know we want to support Mother Gaia. I know we want to be the spiritual people we're meant to be, and we are. Okay, you are. You are the spiritual people you're meant to be. But if you don't take care of you, you have nothing to give. Okay? You are giving from your emptiness, which is not a yummy thing to give. Okay? If you end up with people feeling like they're a burden, like they're pulling on you, like things are just not great, you need to be giving cleanly, and the only way you can give cleanly is if you are already taking care of you. And so I'm going to say this again because I know you guys don't hear me when I say these things. Please, for God's sake, for everyone's sake, please take care of yourselves. Okay? That means put your feet in grass, drink water, take time away from your screens. Okay? I would severely limit your screen usage. I'm canceling all my online services right now. I am pulling away. I'm setting limits on my social media accounts that say you've been on for too long, time to get off. And I'm like, okay, and I'm honoring that. I am stepping away from screens as much as I can. If I did not have a business that was online right now, I would be I would be canceling and deleting all my accounts. Okay? Because we need to be able to be sacrosanct. We need to be able to be with ourselves. We are going through a collective chrysalis that is bringing us into a new state of being. And if we are constantly poisoning ourselves and our minds and our psyches, our energy fields with all of the ick that is on the internet, we are having a problem. For months now, I have been struggling with my streaming services to find anything that's not violent. And it is so difficult. I mean, like beyond difficult to find any sort of intelligent program that is not violent. And that is telling about our culture right now. And so, when everything is violent or where you don't like the people because they're not good people or where they're bad people doing things to each other, it's like, really? Do I need to watch this? Crime shows, all the things. None of this is feeding our psyches the things that we want to be creating, the things that we want to be bringing into fruition. And the thing that we need to do together the most right now is to bring to fruition that which is being called into being. And I'll talk about it now. I was going to say I'll do another podcast on it, but I'm going to talk about it now because I just can't. What's happening in the world right now? People are thinking, oh, we're in Armageddon. We're in this place of good versus evil. No, that is not what's happening. That is what the dominant force in the ethers wants you to do. They want you to engage in good versus evil and to be on the side of good and da, 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 da. No, that is not what we're doing. We are currently in a choice point between duality and experiential level, or what some people are referring to as 5D, which it doesn't make any sense, but whatever. We are at a choice point between continuing to engage in duality of us versus them, black and white, good and evil, up and down, all of this stuff. And in the experiential level, which is where we admit that we are all one. We are all collectively together here on the planet as a single entity, having 8 billion different experiences as humans, plus the billions and billions of experiences as animals, insects, plants, etc. Right? We are here together having a collective experience, and we're being pulled into all of these storylines. And remember, spirit speaks in stories. Spirit speaks in metaphor. And so if you are engaging with social media that is constantly telling you stories of hate and discontent and misery and upset and poorness and whatever, right, all these things, or if you're watching TV that is people beating on each other, being violent to each other, people who are horrible people being mean to each other, whatever, right, if you're engaging in these sorts of things, you are fueling the duality energy with your attention, right? Attention precedes intention. And when we have attention and we are not conscious while we do that, which a lot of us are unconscious while we're watching screens these days. I mean, if you're multi screening and you're listening to something on the television while you play your game or you're writing emails or whatever, you are giving your attention, however small amounts, to your to this thing, and you're not being intentional about it. And that means that it's going to go to wherever it goes. And that is the dominant energy of the thing that you're giving your attention to. And so it is so dangerous to be watching these things right now. It is so dangerous to be engaging with these storylines that are misery, hate, and unhappiness, right? And so it is so crucial because I'm seeing so many high level spiritual people being dragged low right now. And all the old trauma coming up is part of it, but it's also just the dominant energy is getting overwhelming. And we're the canaries in the coal mine, right? We're the ones who are super sensitive to what's happening. And with us being the canaries in the coal mine, guys, you guys have got to start paying attention because you're next. If you're not feeling it yet, it's coming. Okay. So, really, I cannot say enough how important this is. And if you've been with me for the 8 years I've been doing this podcast, you're going to know that I don't do this, right? I did say that in 2020, I did have some things to say about it back then, but that's twice in 8 years that I've had anything to say about the collective energies in terms of, things that we should be doing. So just know that I am not somebody who does this. I am not somebody who says, you need to change this, you need to do that, you need to whatever. This is one of those days. This is one of those moments where you need to do something. You need to step away from your screens. You need to step away from what you're paying attention to that does not have the dominant energy that you want in your life. You need to find a way to bring the dominant energy that you want in your life into your awareness and to hold it in your consciousness on a regular moment to moment basis. And I can tell you, I have looked, and there is not a platform out there that is going to deliver that to you right now. Okay. So, I don't know. I'm not a subscribed to Gaia or any of the, the yummy things. So maybe there's something there. And if you're a listener and there is, please make some comments on the podcast or in the YouTube video and let me know if that's the case. But my experience of all of the media I have consumed, and I do consume a lot of media because I use it to keep a pulse on the zeitgeist. But my experience is everything is negative. Everything is just, there's so little that is hopeful right now. There's so little that is not us versus them right now. And so just be aware of where you are putting your attention. And I would highly recommend a break from your screens for the next month. I don't know why a month, but that's what I'm being told. Okay. But spend some time with yourself. Spend some time taking care of you. Spend some time getting in touch with what you want. Because I think what's happening right now with so much of us is that we're so under pressure and we're so feeling under attack by the dominant energies and by the things that are happening around us and whatever traumas may be being dredged up for you if you're having that experience like we are, then we're like in the fetal position going, enough, I can't, right? But the fact is that we are the bellwethers. We are the lead tuners of the music of this world. And if we are huddling in a corner, we're not doing our jobs. We need to be taking care of ourselves. We need to be in tune with ourselves. We need to be checking in with our guides. We need to be checking in with our inner knowing and our higher selves. We need to be aware of what we are choosing consciously to bring into fruition in our individual lives and collectively. And in this moment, we are so distracted and we are so pulled in so many directions by all the different stuff that's going down, we are not present to that. And I'm using the collective we. If you are not this person, then go you, you're ahead of me. I salute you, right? But what I'm seeing from the rest of the community out there is that we are all being dragged on our faces. Not everyone, obviously, but a lot of us are being dragged on our faces. And I don't know about you, but I like my face and I would like it to not be torn up. So I am getting up and I am sitting down and I am being with me. And I would highly encourage that you do the same because I feel like all of our lives depend on it. So, not intending to be doom and gloom for today, but this is the message that came through to me when I did my sit down and I did my quiet time and I spent the time and the my guides are like, "Oh, thank God. Here's what you need to say." Okay? So, go be with yourself, go take care of yourself. You have permission. You are off duty for the next week. Do not don't go out and support anybody else. Sit and do your time with yourself. And really get in touch with what do you want? These are the questions, okay? You can write them down. What do I want? What is the world I want to live in? Who are the people I want to spend time with? What is the dominant energy I want to exist in? How am I choosing to be in the world? And who do I want to become? Because all of these things are where your focus should be. Okay? I love you. I believe in you. It's going to be okay. It's going to be amazing. We're just in the bumpy part. Okay? Hang in there. Mwah.